It's time! Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? The mystery that some say shouldn't be solved. Well, I believe they are still alive, planning to send billions of dollars to Mars. Yeah, the red planet. Or is Satoshi still here with another project, looking to finish what they started, take over banking and decentralize it? So hear me out as we dive deep into the Bitcoin creator mystery, because it's time for Chico Crypto. No one in the public knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but I believe it's a single person, as groups can never keep a secret. One member would eventually tell someone. And I believe they are alive, communicating with cryptic messages hidden in Bitcoin blocks. Just like his infamous Genesis block. The very first one mined contained the now famous news headline, Times, January 3rd, 2009. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. Since the Genesis block and after Satoshi's disappearance in 2011, there have been some pretty weird messages hidden in BTC blocks. Could Elon Musk actually be the one communicating with the public through Bitcoin blocks? Well, if you didn't know, I think Elon Musk is a top 3 candidate to be Satoshi Nakamoto. From the research I've done over the past 6 years, I've found many similarities between the two and have a personal theory. He is sending Satoshi's billions to Mars for the world's largest treasure hunt. Get manned to Mars. Those men or women get nearly $29 billion at today's low prices. So where do I begin with old Elon? Well, first, back in 2014, a Noel Rojo on Twitter asked Elon about his stance on cryptocurrencies. He said, well, now that Satoshi Nakamoto has been discovered, I guess it is case closed. Smiley face. He didn't even answer the question. He answered like Noel Rojo discovered the real Satoshi by asking Elon this question. And the smiley face? To me, it's clear as day. But I've covered this tweet before. I'm sure you guys want something new. Well, for this video, I researched some more. Elon interviews where he talks about Bitcoin and words written by Satoshi Nakamoto on forums and through emails. And I found some very strange coincidences. Well, first there is this. Satoshi was the first to talk about this potential Bitcoin use case, using a Bitcoin miner dual purposely to, of course, mine those precious Bitcoin, but from the heat generated, it could double as a heater. Satoshi said in August of 2010 on the Bitcoin Talk forums, just before they left for good, the heat from your computer is not wasted if you need to heat your home. If you're using electric heat where you live, then your computer's heat isn't a waste. It's equal cost if you generate the heat with your computer. If you have other cheaper heating than electric, then the waste is only the difference in cost. If it's summer and you're using AC, then it's twice. Bitcoin generation should end up where it's cheapest. Maybe that will be in cold climates where there's electric heat, where it would be essentially free. Well, look at this. In 2021, Elon Musk did the B-word streamed event with Jack Dorsey and other avid Bitcoin supporters. This is what he said as a potential Bitcoin mining use case.
I had this idea, which is kind of off the wall, but like let's say you need a little space heater, and normally your space heater would just be pure entropy. But what if that space heater was also a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge mining node? Pick your currency. And so then you'd be heated up and you would also mine your crypto.
This was Satoshi's original idea, but let's just replay.
I had this idea, which is kind of off the wall, but
Elon said this was his idea. I had the idea, not Satoshi, not the others who actually built this after Satoshi left. I had this idea, and he had it probably back in 2010, writing on the Bitcoin Talk forum. My other top candidate isn't trying to send Bitcoin to Mars. They're trying to take on the world's most powerful cabal, the banking cartel, by infiltrating it from the inside. I'm talking about Chainlink's founder, Sergey Nazarov. Why Sergey? Well, let me begin. Back in June of 2010, Satoshi said this about Bitcoin's design. The nature of Bitcoin is such that once version 0.1 was released, the core design was set in stone for the rest of its lifetime. Because of that, I wanted to design it to support every possible transaction type I could think of. The solution was script, which generalizes a problem so transacting parties can describe their transaction as a predicate that the node network evaluates. The design supports a tremendous variety of possible transaction types that I designed years ago. Escrow transactions, bonded contracts, third-party arbitration, multi-party signature, etc. If Bitcoin catches on in a big way, these are the things we'll want to explore in the future. He was talking about smart contract scripts, aka smart contract Bitcoin code. Satoshi wanted a variety of transaction types and use cases for Bitcoin. He wanted Bitcoin to be an unstoppable financial force. But since his project was decentralized and the majority of the network needed to agree on upgrades, Satoshi didn't get these smart contracts he had designed from day one, and many other things he had been planning. So guess what? Satoshi stepped away. This is a last official message from Satoshi, sent to Bitcoin core dev Mike Hearn in response to if he would stick around and help out with code reviews. Satoshi said, "I've moved on to other things. It's in good hands with Gavin and everyone. I do hope your Bitcoin J continues to be developed into an alternative client. It gives Java devs something to work on, and it's easier with a simpler foundation that doesn't have to do everything." He was moving on to other things. His work wasn't done. He was just removing himself from the leader position so he could focus on what he wanted to. Satoshi said he wanted Mike to continue developing Bitcoin J. What was his Java-based Bitcoin client focused on? Smart contracts. As we see from its website, contracts allow for a variety of low-trust trades to take place, mediated by the Bitcoin network. By carefully constructing transactions with particular scripts, signatures, and structures, aka smart contract design, you can have low trust dispute mediations, coins locked to arbitrary conditions, future contracts, assurance contracts, smart property, and many other possibilities. Contracts are an exciting feature of Bitcoin that has opened up a new research field, using flexible digital money to produce compelling and innovative applications. His last words to Mike were basically, don't give up on smart contracts, build them out, and eventually create Bitcoin-based applications, or DApps, decentralized applications. Well, Mike and Bitcoin J failed at that mission. Smart contracts still weren't ready for deployment by the year 2014. So what did Satoshi do? He did what he knew he had to do, build the smart contracts for Bitcoin himself. And this time, he wasn't hiding. He was going to build them under his real name, Sergey Nazarov. If you didn't know, Sergey is the owner of smartcontract.com, which today redirects to the Chainlink website. But guess when the domain was registered? Well, using Whois, we can see the domain for smartcontract.com was registered October 25th, 2008. What happened just 6 days after this on October 31st? Well, from this article, we can see this is when Satoshi released the Bitcoin white paper to the public. Did Sergey register it back then? Well, yes, he did, doing a reverse Whois query for domains registered with Sergey's Gmail, sergey.d.nazarov@gmail.com. We can see it was registered by name.com Inc. with the email sergey.d.nazarov@gmail.com. So now let's fast forward 2014. Bitcoin J has failed at the smart contract mission. Guess what happens? Smartcontract.com is deployed, no longer sitting idle. And the focus? Bitcoin smart contracts like conditional escrow, stabilized Bitcoin payments, pay-per-performance contracts, smart property contracts, and even GPS-based ones. These are all the types of Bitcoin smart contracts Satoshi talked about on Bitcoin Talk in 2019. Satoshi wanted to see escrow and bonded transactions. This is exactly what conditional escrow and smart property contracts are. Satoshi wanted to see third-party arbitration and multi-signature transactions. All of the transactions Sergey was designing needed these two to function. So who is it, Satoshi or Sergey? Well, here is where things get sticky between the two, Sergey and Elon. There are leaked IPs that could tie back to both of them. First, let's begin with Elon. There is a great research piece titled "Who is Satoshi?" that has found out early work done on Bitcoin in 2009 was coming from California. They were able to reverse look up IPs for both Hal Finney, whose work was coming from Lompoc, California, and Satoshi's IP, whose work was coming from Van Nuys, California. Now, Sahil Gupta has a great research piece diving into why Elon is Satoshi. But he says this and has a sources about it regarding Elon and Van Nuys. They say the jet is registered to a subsidiary of SpaceX called Falcon Landing, named for its reusable rocket, Federal Aviation Administration records show. Many of the flights took off from or landed at LA's Van Nuys Airport, a short drive from the Tony neighborhood of Bel Air, where Musk owns 5 separate mansions, including in 2009. And if you didn't know, SpaceX headquarters is right next to Van Nuys. But what about Sergey? Well, I covered this back in June of 2022. Let's listen in. From this detailed Sergey, we can see it says, Sergey Nazarov is an online entrepreneur from Russia. Now, why is it important that Sergey is from Russia? Well, in June of 2020, Cointelegraph put out an article that revealed early Bitcoin code from 2009 that Satoshi wrote and published was done so using a Russian proxy. Below in the article, we can see it says this about the proxy. We did find a user named Sergey posting reviews of hotels in Vietnam in December 2008 and January 2009, logging into the site with the same proxy as Satoshi. So who is it, Chico, Elon Musk or Sergey Nazarov? Well, in my opinion, Elon Musk, as he was already on his way to becoming a billionaire in 2009. He didn't need any of the money from Bitcoin. He most likely never will. Although Sergey has needed money. He ran an ICO in 2017, raising millions, 32 mil to be exact. That right there makes me think Elon is the more likely candidate. Well, viewers, what are your thoughts? I've included all of my research down in the description if you want to dive deeper to help make up your mind. So make sure to subscribe. Follow me on my socials at Chico Crypto and at Leaks Blockchain on X, Chico Crypto on Instagram, and of course, come join the chat on Telegram, t.me/Chico Crypto. Cheers. I'll see you next time.
The most trustless name